Hey, welcome to a new tutorial. Today we will learn how to create a very basic animation on Adobe Photoshop. As you may know, Adobe Photoshop is not the best tool to animate. If you want a really nice animation, a proper animation, you should use, for example, After Effects or Adobe Premiere or even Flash. But Photoshop is really nice to create very simple animations, like for example GIFs or maybe a loading icon or something like that. In this tutorial we're going to be animating this amazing pic that you can find on Freepik. It's a vector image which I imported to Photoshop. We're gonna be creating the animation for this car, for example, to drive from here to this point. The wheel will be turning, the balloon will be moving too, and the clouds will be moving as well. But first I want to tell you about the basics of the animation in Photoshop. So we have this ellipse. If we want to create an animation in Photoshop, we have to open this window, go to Window, and select Timeline, and a new panel will pop up. And in this panel you will find this button which says Create Video Timeline or Create Frame Animation. Frame animation is most used as to create GIFs or something like that. In this case we're going to be creating a video timeline, so select Video Timeline here and click on the Create Video Timeline button. So if you have used previously another rendering program, another animation program, you probably know what a timeline is. It's basically a timeline which shows from the start to 5 seconds or longer. Of course you can make this longer as long as you want the animation. In this case 5 seconds will be more than enough. So if you click on this arrow here on the ellipse, you can see how it shows the layer that we have. If we create another layer, it will show on the timeline as well. But let's leave it like this on the ellipse, and you can see, if you click here, you can see that you have some controls which are the position, opacity, and style. If for example you want to move this ellipse from the top to the bottom, then you have to do it like this. Select the ellipse and place it on the top, and now go to the start, and you can see that right next to the position name you have a little stopwatch. If you click on this stopwatch, it will create a keyframe which is like a diamond. You can see it here, it's like a yellow diamond appearing here on the timeline. It will appear exactly on the second that you click. If for example you click on this second, the first second, the diamond will appear over here. So let's go to the start, click on the stopwatch. You can see that it created a keyframe. And now if we go to the third second and move the ellipse all the way to the bottom, you will see that this will automatically create a new keyframe. So now we have two keyframes, one on here which is this position, and on the third second we have this keyframe on the bottom. So if we go to this part and press play, you will see that the ellipse is going to move all the way to the bottom from point A to point B on the seconds that you told it. So if for example I move this keyframe to the 5 second, then it will take, of course, much longer. As you can see, if we place this keyframe on the first second, then it will be much faster. And that's basically everything there is to it on the animation. If for example you want also to change to animate the opacity, then just let's place a keyframe over here, click on the stopwatch, and over here let's say that the opacity will be 0. Then you will find that it will go like this. It will move, and when it starts to fade away, because you told them that the opacity here will be 0, and it's gone. Of course, you can change the positions as many times as you want. If you want on this part to go here, it will create a new keyframe, and then it will go all the way to the bottom and bounce back to the right. And that's basically everything there is to it on the Photoshop animation. As you can see, you can't create a very complex animation over here because it wouldn't be right. We have After Effects for this, which is an excellent software, but as you can see, Photoshop is very nice to create simple animations like this, like a ball bouncing back and forth. And now that you have seen how this works, let's go to our other file. You can close this now, and you will find this file, which of course I will share with you. And now, like we did before, let's create a video timeline, but this time you will see that we have a lot of layers, because we have a lot of layers here. But don't worry, it won't be so hard. You can see that these layers are all a vector as a object, I mean a smart object, which is a vector object. If we click double click on this file in any of these layers, it will open Illustrator, and will open the file on Illustrator. We won't be doing that, but it's nice to know. So when we have smart objects, you can see that we have some more properties. Instead of position, it says transform, which lets you also change the rotation and scaling and everything. Not just the position, but everything on the object. So if you want this timeline to be a little shorter, you can click on this here. On this, these are like little mountains. Click here, and you can see how it shrinks a little. So now we're all set. Let's first animate the car. The car will go from this point to this point. So let's place it over here on the first second, the start of the animation, and go to car and click on the stopwatch on transform. Make sure that it shows a diamond, which is a keyframe, as I said before, and now go all the way to the end, which is 5 seconds, and place the car on this point. You can see how it created a new keyframe automatically, and if you press play, you will see the car moving very slowly. You can see how easy it is. Of course, it's a really basic animation. If you want to create a much complex animation, you have to use another software, but it's very nice to create, for example, for banners, for loading icons. I have done plenty of loading icons using only Photoshop, because it's easier on Photoshop. Okay, we're all set with the car. Now, okay, the road, of course, won't move. The house won't move. The clouds will move, of course. We can set this transform. Press the stopwatch, and say that on the 5th second it will be a little ways over here. Of course, you can always move the layers back and forward, doesn't matter anyway. The clouds should be moving very slowly because they are clouds, of course. Now let's move second cloud. Go to the start, press the stopwatch, create a new keyframe, and on the end of the animation it should move around here, maybe. Yeah, I think that's fine. The third cloud will also move very slowly. Select the transform tool and go to the end, and let's move it. Could be over here. You can see that they won't move too much because, as I said before, they are clouds and the clouds move very slowly. So we have to keep it as real as we can. Now click again on the fourth cloud and let's move this cloud all the way to here. So let's go to the start and press play to see how it does. Perfect, they are moving just fine. Okay, the trees won't move, of course. The light post won't move either. The bench won't move. The wheel won't be moving but will be rotating. So let's select the wheel and let's click on the transform tool, and now go all the way to the end, and instead of moving the wheel we will rotate it. Click here and rotate the wheel. Let's see, let's rotate it like to 90 degrees. And if we go to the start and press play, you can see how the wheel will slowly rotate. Okay, finally let's animate the balloon, the hot air balloon, which is right here, and we will create a little bouncing animation for it. Let's go to the start and create a new keyframe. Actually, let's place it over here at first and create a new keyframe. And now on the second number 2, place it all the way to the top. And on the 5th second, place it again on here. In fact, to make sure that this balloon will return to the exact position that it was on first, you can go remove this keyframe that we created here and select this keyframe and press copy, and on the 5th second right click and create the select paste. Now we are sure that this will go all the way to the top and and it should bounce back. Perfect. If you want, you can move this right here so that it goes right in the middle. And that's it. That's all we have to move to animate on this tutorial. But what if we want to add some music to it so that it's much more fun? Can we do that? And yes, we can. Just go all the way to the bottom of the layers, and you can see that we have a layer called audio track. On this audio track you can place any music that you want. Just click on this music note and select add audio. Select the audio that you want, click on open, and it will start adding the audio clips. Let's wait for it to finish. And now that you can see that we have a new layer called with the name of the song, and if we press play, you can see how it shows the music. Of course, the song is longer than the animation is, so let's just move this handle to the 5th second, which is the end of our animation. You can also click on this handle right here. You can see how the icon changes, and you can move this all the way to here, and now the song will be as long as the animation. But we can have the song ending like this. We have to create a fade in fade out effect. To do this, just right click on the song and select the fade in all the way to 0.15, half a second, and the fade out for now. If we press play, you can see that it has a nice fade in and fade out effect. So we have completed our animation. Let's save this document, and when we finish, of course, we want to have this animation as a video file. To do this, we're going to File, Export, and Render Video. Select Render Video, wait for the window to open, now you can see a new window called Render Video, and in here you can name it as whatever you want, city animation for example. And you can choose all the settings that you want. I will leave it like this: H.264, high quality, document size is okay. I will leave everything as it is right here. You can even select if you want to export all the video, if you want to export just a few frames or whatever frames you want. If you want to export from the 10th frame to the 15th frame, it's okay to do that. But let's select all frames and press render, and it will take some time depending on your hardware. Let's wait for the exporting video to finish. Okay, I have the video file here. Let's click on play button, and you can see that we have a very nice animation. You can see that it's a very simple animation, very basic animation, but it looks fine if we want to create a banner or something simple. Photoshop is the right tool to do that, because it will be faster, it will be simpler. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a very simple tutorial, it was a very basic tutorial, but I hope that you enjoyed it as well. See you in the next one.